my first company I started was a tea company, and I built that from the ground up. And I was really committed that post business school that I was going to figure out how to do it. And I wanted to do it on my own. I wanted to be able to ensure that I was able to create a legacy of things for my family. And it was a difficult one because the cost for me to be able to kind of really build a business was a cost I had to give up my marriage. Let's start up wide and then go and then switch to as we go back and forth. Yeah. And you feel free to kind of go back and forth between an ISO and a wide.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm ready, guys.
All right.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, or countdown 3, 2, 1. There are things we all know, but rarely say out loud.
Because the hardest things to say are the easiest patterns to repeat.
I'm Enitan Bereola, best-selling author, cultural architect, and co-founder of St. Miles.
And I'm Martin Ekechukwu, entrepreneur, investor, and founder of What Works.
And this is
The
Quiet Truth.
This is like episode 1, bro.
Episode 1, man. The Quiet Truth. Every week we sit down with cultural architects, creatives, the cool kids, and we really just kind of dive in about what most people aren't willing to share.
And that's a lot.
But we are. I mean, somehow here we are in New York City, pouring out our guts. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and this is real vulnerable for both of us, I think, in a real way, because we're always like the folks behind the scenes a lot of the times, right?
Yeah.
But there is a real cost of success. That's what we're going to talk about today, is the real cost of success.
Yeah.
And the truth behind it. You know, everything can look amazing, but there are failures that are, endemic to a win. There are human moments that shape all the pieces around us and make us successful,
So let's just get into it, man. Let's just dive in. So first of all, how did we get here?
How did we get here? Bro, how did we even sitting here right now?
How did we get here, man?
So I got to tell the story. It's my favorite story of all time because I'm actually able to really share my man over here. You can tell the eclectic shit, right? You got the bracelets, got the glasses, got the what?
The U.S. Open, man.
Completely fresh from the U.S. Open, looking like he just stepped out of a magazine. Supposed to be Ralph Lauren all day long.
I actually need a shower.
Vineyard, the whole 9 yards.
Quiet truth is I need a warm shower.
The quiet truth is that we need to shower.
Quiet truth is I might stink.
Yeah, hilarious. But my man E, got to take you back to, I swear it had to be like 2022, 2023. And I was in South by Southwest for the first time in a long time. I was brought down there by brand innovators to speak in a few panels. And I know really what's going on and walking around a bit. And then find myself at some evening joint, some sort of evening experience. I just walked in blindly, didn't know what's going on. So I'm coming in, everything's real chill or whatever. Music's playing. There's a big open space. There's, cocktails being had. There's people enjoying. There's melanin everywhere. It's just beautiful. Melanin everywhere. And I'm just over there hanging out, just by myself with a cocktail in hand. Next thing I know, I see this dude just walking. I'm calling it saunter. My man sauntered through the crowd with what felt like 9 people around him. He had this peach colored, is it peach?
You got a good memory.
Yeah, peach colored mauve. My bad, mauve. Peach colored pyre moss joint that connected at the top for this high crew neck joint. Came through and just sauntered by, got the glasses, all of it. And I was like, what just happened? Who is this dude? How did he just show up out of nowhere? Just flat. And next thing I know, I was like, all right, man. I didn't even think anything of it. All right, this is obviously some guy that's clearly, clearly I need to figure out who the hell this dude is. And next thing I know, a few days later, someone posted about South by Southwest, and he was right there in the photo. And I texted my man Lincoln. I feel like I've been talking about Lincoln all day today.
Yeah, I just got off the text with Lincoln.
Hilarious. And I was like, yo, who is this dude? He's like, oh, that's my man E. You should get to know him. And that's how it started, bro.
That's how it started, man. And It's funny. I think you reached out on social media, and I was like, man, this cat looks cool. Scrolled through the set and was like, yo, I think that we have some things in common. And then I saw that you were going to be a speaker at the inaugural Good Soil in Orlando, Florida. And I was like, connecting the dots. I was like, all right, Lincoln did his, I need to know this guy. So we both had this mutual kind of like, I need to know this brother kind of thing. And then we met, man. I don't know if we talked before then or no, I was like, yo, I'll see you at Good Soil, right? And we met at Good Soil. I was getting picked up from the airport. The transportation folks were picking us up. And I hopped in the whip and I was just started just talking, right? And I looked at, Datavia was in there and this person, that person. I was like, oh man, I'm with the team. And then that's when we finally met like in person for the first time.
I hopped in the van.
And it's been like a brotherhood since then. I mean, the interesting thing is that we share the same birthday, which is crazy, right? Which, let me not call it crazy. Let me call it what it is. I think it's divine. I think in this lifetime, on these assignments that we're on this journey that we're on, there are moments where you are in connection with your purpose and your path. And I think you get these like kind of God winks where it's like kind of telling you that, you know, this is where you're supposed to be. This is the path that you're supposed to go on. And I'm not necessarily one for like, well, I wasn't one for like new friends and all that type of, you know, I have friends of 30 something years, 20 something years, but I've learned that, you know, in this life, on this journey, there are seasons and there are times that you have to kind of just surrender to and accept. And I realized that, you know, some of the friends that I had for years, man, like, I don't want to say they no longer served me because that sounds selfish, but I think the season had passed. It was no longer the winter. You know what I mean? Like, summer has come. So it was just like an invitation to be kind of accepting and say, you know what? I'm open, man. Let me explore these new relationships and see where they go. And it's been off, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we went to college or something together, or went to church together, or went to high school together growing up, or we're family. We're both Nigerian, by the way. But it's been a fruitful relationship, man. Like, you've come through for me in ways that are just beyond the breadth of this podcast. That, you know what I mean? Like, there are stories that we'll share, but I think it's only been about 3 years.
Yeah.
But the impact, not only culturally, not only the business that we do together, but just in my personal life, like growing through manhood and growing through marriage and growing through fatherhood and especially going through business. I've learned so much through you, and I've been privileged to sit at the seat of Martin.
Bro, we have like 75 truths that we just basically just need to drop from that whole conversation. It's amazing. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Because, you know, the one thing I've always noticed when you look at, let's say a musical artist, right?
Yeah.
Where I would say, okay, this artist is, you know, has made it,
Mhm.
finally made it. But no one recognizes that, you know, there's a cost to that success, right?
Talk about it, man.
I mean, there's real cost. I mean, no matter if you're an entrepreneur and whatever, there's a cost to everything that you do. It depends on how you sort of balance that loss, whether the cost of time,
Mhm.
cost of spirit, energy, emotion, whether it's a cost of money, cost of your credit, cost of your house, cost of, you know, love and friends. That cost is real when you're trying to really focus on building something, right? Now, I'll tell you one cost that I had. Honestly, that this cost was new to me,
Mhm.
and you know, my first company I started was a tea company, and I built that from the ground up, and I was really committed that post business school that I was going to figure out how to do it, and I wanted to do it on my own. I wanted to be able to ensure that I was able to create a legacy of things for my family, for my one kid at the time. And it was a difficult one because the cost for me to be able to kind of really build a business was a cost. I had to give up my marriage, my first marriage. I had to give it up. And it wasn't because I actively said I was going to give it up. It was because the decisions that I was making were going to ultimately end at that point because I was, and listen, I'm divorced for a reason, but the point was that no one really talks about the fact that you have to be willing to give something. It might be the ultimate sacrifice of something, right? I ended up having to give up of my family at the time and my wife at the time in order to be able to really pursue something I was truly passionate about, because I knew that I was on a bigger journey that was beyond what I was in at that moment. Now, obviously, there are issues that come up as a result of being in that scenario with someone that you're not necessarily supposed to be with. But at the end of the day, that cost is real, right? The emotional toll of saying, I'm going to every day wake up. My story was incredible. It was like I would wake up. I actually had a 9 to 5. I was doing double duty. 9 to 5, I would show up and be a senior brand manager, Dr. Pepper Snapple. I would show up every single day. And I get home, feed my kid, and from 9 o'clock to about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll disappear. I'm working. I'm out of there. So I only was able to give really the evening time and the weekend to my daughter, and maybe just a couple hours at a time to my wife. You know, so it's like, but that's a decision that you make when you get into it, and you either say you're going to try to balance it out, or you don't.
I mean, what is even balance, man? You know, people always talk about balance, and balance is it's like it's right here, right? And then when you're off balance, you're either here or you're here, and this is typically what life looks like. So balance happens here, and then it moves. It happens here, and so it's this constant balance. Is this very temporary space that we're all chasing, but for the most part, we're like high, low, and then we're balanced, right? And it's like this almost unconquerable destination or goal. I think harmony is something that I've been kind of more so focused on, knowing that you're gonna have joy and pain. Like you're gonna have like currently. You ask anybody, I ask you, you ask me in my life, what are you experiencing right now? Is joy and pain.
Yeah.
Like there's celebration on my right side, and my left side is absolute tragedy, absolute devastation. Like, how am I going to get through this thing? But then on my right side, it's like, man, I've been going after this thing for so long, and it's finally here. I'm on the precipice of something. And it's hard to sit in either of those things. You have to make a decision. Like, am I going to embrace this joy, or am I going to focus on this pain?
But why are we even in that space, right? How do we even get there? Like, what? Why is the harmony so difficult to kind of like find? Because, I mean, I can tell you, like, there's no such thing. I've kind of given it up, right? There's no such thing as the balance to me. Like, I can't balance. There's no way, because I'm a passionate individual. I'm like,
I agree.
When I'm into something, it's me. It's like you're not getting like a little bit of me, like a tiny bit, or like 50%. You're getting all of it, the whole 9 yards. So it's like, how do you manage through that to where you have to give it your whole self, but the people that are around you either got to know that and be good with it, or there's going to be a friction that exists.
Yeah, I think you said it the first time, man. Like, everything costs. Everything costs. Everything costs, man. Like, this life is going to cost you. The pursuit of your goals are going to cost you. Your marriage is going to cost you. Everything that you do is going to cost you something. You're going to have to give up something in order to get something. There is a compromise that is going to happen. It's inevitable. There's no avoiding it. And the question is, what are you willing to pay? What are you willing to pay for your purpose? What are you willing to pay for your goals? What are you willing to pay for success? Are you willing to leave your family on an island? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you willing to, like, balance it all where you're not fully in pursuit of your goals? You're kind of like, that's kind of, I feel like, where I am. Like this median, I'll shut my laptop down when I have work to do because my son is staring at me and wants to play Madden. And, not just because I want to play Madden, but because that's my son. And I have a friend, let me not use that word loosely. I have an ex-friend, associate, who told me that, man, bro, like, I resent my dad. Ooh. Mind you, this dude grew up, like, I thought his dad he had like the Ned Flanders dad. Remember The Simpsons? Like, Ned Flanders, like, yes and diddly dooley, just really super loving of his kids, and just like, like, I remember, man, I don't want to tell too many details because it'll give away who it is, but he just had a really dope dad from my perspective.
Yeah.
He sacrificed everything. They worked hard. He took care of his family. But as an adult, I remember him telling me like that he resented his father. I'm like, how do you resent Ned Flanders? How do you resent the guy that gave it all up for you,
Yeah.
that worked? Because he said that he was always working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, he's working for y'all.
Yeah,
But a kid doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
So I take heed to time and the cost of time, right? Like you got to pay for time. Even though time is free and available to every living person, you got to like pay for it.
Has that changed over? So, for example, like has the willingness for our time, I'm sorry, has a willingness for us to pay for our pathway to success, has that changed over generations? Because my dad,
Mm-hmm.
so I was born in Nigeria, grew up between Czech Republic and Nigeria. My mother is Czech, my father's Nigerian. And so back in 86, 87, roughly, my dad was like, all right, I'm going to go to the United States. I'm going to live there for a couple years on my own without y'all. Your mother's going to take care of you in Nigeria. And you guys can go back and forth because we didn't have a visa to come to the US. There was no reason for us to be there yet. It was different times.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad was like, I'm going to take off. I'm going to work over here for a couple years and I'm going to send for you and you guys are going to come. Right. And then that's my dad paid with his time to be able to ensure that we had a place to land for our next thing. Now, it was a temporary fix, obviously. It's a temporary situation. But my father was gone for at least a year, up to 2 years. I'm trying to remember the time very well.
What was that like for you?
So I had a great community around me, right? My mother, my sister, my aunt was there. We lived in an incredible place. I went to school, and then obviously I would go overseas to my mom's family to hang out with them quite a bit. So I feel like I don't remember my dad not being there, but I know he wasn't, which is weird. Like I know that he wasn't, but I don't remember him not being there. But it's like that sacrifice was real.
Yeah.
Right? That sacrifice was absolutely real because it's something he had to do to make sure that we were there.
Yeah.
It's like, and so when I look at my life today, I look at everybody, look at people in my life that I'm close to, like, what are y'all complaining for? I'm doing this to make sure you're good. I'm not doing this for me.
Right.
I'm doing this for you.
Right.
It's like, granted, I get some benefit out of it, but I'm doing it for you.
So did you come to an understanding it isn't a, well, first, did you hold any resentment or anything from missing your father around, or, did that sit with you? How did you feel as a child?
What's weird? It's like, I don't remember missing my dad.
Okay.
That's the crazy part about it. I don't remember missing him. I know he was not there. My mom always told me, your dad's traveling, he'll be back.
Right.
It was never like your dad left.
Right.
Your dad's traveling, he'll be back. So, and I was like 7, 8, probably at the time, maybe 9. But I never remember my dad not being there.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's like I missed my dad, but then like, oh, he'll be back. He's coming soon. So the expectation was I was going to get to see him again.
Right.
Right. But still, as a kid, even now looking back, I'm like, my dad left us for a couple of years so he can ensure that we had a future to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one should complain about the fact that their parents are just making the sacrifices that they're making to ensure that their kids are good. No, because life of privilege right now, these kids are privileged.
Yeah.
They're living real good.
Yeah. I mean, it's the cost of the privilege, you know what I mean? And I'm always pegged with the question, like, what are you willing to pay?
Yeah.
Every single day, whatever the thing is, I always hear that in my head, like, what are you willing to pay? Like, and that's where the tension lies. And on the other side of that question is everything you desire, all of if you're willing to pay, and if you're not, then it's like I have this piece on my wall by Skylar Gray. I collect Black art, and it's like these two images. It's 2 images of me, and one sits a little bit higher than the other. And every day I look at it, and I'm like, you have the option to be that version of yourself or this version of yourself, right? The version of yourself that's going to just like, be who you are, surrender to the moment, and just like, it is what it is. And then there's a version of yourself that's going to push through and fight and pay for whatever the cost is. And every day I'm left with that dilemma to decide, like, who am I about to be today? Some days I'm this dude version of me, some days I'm that version of me. But I do believe ultimately and incrementally, I will become who I am designed to be.
Yeah.
who I actually already am, right?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like moving the stuff out of the way to fully have that version of myself realized.
So I'm going to ask something really controversial, right? And you know, I may get canceled, I may get kicked out of all the circles, all those things. The cost of success, you know, people are willing to make an ultimate sacrifice to kind of get this cost of success.
Now you see it out there crazy right now.
But so the question I have, okay,
People
let's
paying everything, paying their soul for.
let's take the
for a
most
light.
let's take the most extreme example.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Oh man.
Is he paying, are we paying the ultimate price for him to feel successful? Like, the crazy part is, I think that all of us are feeling some level of suffering because his understanding of what success is for, and it's obviously rudimentary and backwards. I don't agree with it, but he has an idea of what success looks like.
Mhm.
Success looks like zero unemployment. It looks like zero crime. It looks like zero of these things. It looks like people submissive to his will. It's like, but we are paying the ultimate sacrifice for his level of success.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you feel about that? Like, because I mean, in a way, I almost feel like I've never been in that seat
Mm-hmm.
where I'm sacrificing for someone else's success, and I feel like that right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through the fire so that he can be successful.
I mean, it's kind of like being an employee. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
Right?
that.
Like your job is gonna pay you, you know what I'm saying? Like much less than you're worth for the cost of business, right? Like it makes business sense to pay you less than what you're worth, right? Like otherwise, how does the business flourish?
Yeah.
But man, I look at it like I make this delineation between flesh and spirit often. Like, you know, this is my flesh, and then there's my spirit. And I believe that in the spiritual realm, those things that I do are eternal. Those are the things that actually truly matter. And then in the physical realm, those are the things that I do that are fleeting, that won't last, that you know, they're temporal, and they may have a temporary, you know, satisfactory effect here on this plane, on this side, but they actually don't matter. So I often find myself floating in the spiritual realm more than the physical, fleshly realm, right? So I'm able to tolerate and deal with, you know, things I disagree with, BS, things that people are crashing out about. I'm like in my spirit, in my soul, I'm like, man, yo, like this is all temporary, you know? But at the same time, this has like real lasting impact.
Yeah.
And those moments where I want to kind of sit back and just be in my spiritual bubble and, you know, I'm over here doing my thing. Like I also feel conviction in my spirit. I was talking about this earlier today. Like, yo, a time such as this is why everything that led me up to this moment allowed me to be here.
Yeah.
I need to be doing something in this moment. I can't just be sitting back and like making sure my family's good. I need to be on assignment, making sure we're all good, because that's just part of my purpose. So
You're better than me, bro. I'm such an empath. I don't even actually. The first time I was called an empath was my daughter, Layton. She was like, "Dad, you're an empath."
I am too.
I'm like, because I take everything so personally.
Hey man,
I don't know if it's the Aquarius in us.
do you take business personally?
You know what's weird is I don't take business personally, but I take how people perceive me personally. I do.
What do you mean?
Like, if people think that I'm not a nice guy to others, if people think that I'm being an asshole in some way, if people think that I'm doing this, it's like my wife would always tell me, who's my business partner in the agency, she'll always tell me, they're scared to talk to you. I'm like,
She said,
why?
I've heard her say that. Remember that conversation we had? She was like, he's an a-hole. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what is that? Remember dinner in Dallas?
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? Like,
I don't understand it either.
I don't see it either.
I'm still trying to figure it out, because I'm like, and so she's like, that's people are scared of you. I'm like, why are they scared of me? I'm like,
I mean, quiet truth. You tell the truth.
I try to.
You tell the quiet truth.
But I feel like people want to hear that.
Yeah, that's why you get repeat business. That's why like people the right people want to hear that. The people who are willing to tolerate the truth. I mean, and I think part of the reason why we even call this the quiet truth is because, like, I mean, in these days, you dang near got to be quiet about the truth. It's like the truth is
not true anymore for some folks.
It's not true. It's hurtful. It's distasteful. It's harmful. You're triggering. What are the words? Triggering. What are the other words? And not to even create commotion. What's the other? What is that word?
Canceled?
There's all these words, man. All these new adjectives and such.
I don't even know half of them.
I can't even remember the word.
It's like
gaslighting, gasoline, something. I don't know what that means. But I mean, I'm not here to even banter back and forth and play with these words, but I do. I'm an empath. I do understand. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think that I don't know, bro. I'm at a loss for words on it. I think that we are proactively engaged and interested in a lot of distractions. I think we are so unfocused. I think our eyes are off of the prize. I think there is so much happening right now that is like, you think about 100 years from now.
Yeah.
What are they going to look back on this generation of people and say?
Like, well, so listen,
did y'all sit back? Like, I feel like we're just missing the moment, the mark. However, I do feel like, we're having these conversations. Yeah. We're trying to do a thing. I think we feel powerless. And these are all, everything that I'm saying that I think we are, these are all lies, by the way. No, we actually are the most powerful. Like, again, it's like a time such as this. This is when we need to, come together and bring our superpowers together and make the change, do all the things, right? Like, this is the season that we're supposed to take all of the tools that experiences gifted us and utilize them for the greater good of humanity. Like, this is the time.
See, I hope that's the case. The way I'm looking at the way the world is right now, we're 50-50. And the way this administration is moving is 50-50. I think that we either end on the other side of this and making more money, we're all doing better, everything is looking great, and this is temporary pain to get us on the other side. This is a cost of success, right? We're in the middle of a cost of success, which is our sacrifice, our pain. Again, there's a cost to everything. We said earlier, it's like our pain, our businesses not necessarily doing as well as we did last year, or not necessarily getting all the accounts we want, and the money's not necessarily the same as it was last year.
Yeah.
We're having to pay for that, paying for more for less. We're paying for that because right now we're being sold a story that if we go through this hurricane, temporarily we'll be on the other side of it better.
Man, we heard that story before, man.
We've heard that story before, right? And so that's kind of where we are right now. So I'm always like curious. I mean, listen, quiet truth. And I was talking to my guy, he's in Texas right now, and we were both like, and quietly, I was like, both of us, 15 years ago, 10 years ago would have been considered Republicans because we're conservative. We're about small government, low taxes, give me as much money as I can to make my business grow, stay out of my house, stay out of my bedroom, stay on my things. And there's some level of social understanding that comes out of it that we land. I think Black folks in essence are in some ways kind of Republican a little bit, right? Because, we want to have as much money as possible, but we also don't want to leave the little person behind. We want to make sure that there's safety nets and all those things, because we know what it's like to not have one. We're like, we want the safety nets. We want our parents to get our Social Security. We want everyone to get what they need to get, but just make it easy for me to make money. But like today, it's like, yo, that's not possible.
Yeah,
I can't even say those words. I'm a staunch Democrat right now.
Man, I'm a staunch Bereola. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that stuff they be cripping and blooding in the Democratic, and like I've seen these folks out here just like throwing up sets and fighting, and it's wild, man. It's a wild. And you know what, man? I do think that now is a time. The quiet truth is that, in the midst of this chaos, like, there is a stillness to find.
Yeah.
There is a stillness to find. It's safe there. It's a sanctuary. And there's a lot of answers there if you're willing to go. You can't fall into the vortex, man. Like, it's noisy outside. Social media is insane. Like, everything is real fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been living in an offline life. I have so many things to like recap and repost. I'm like, do I even want to do this? Like, what is it?
Offline life. What
Yeah.
what is that?
Man, I'm not engaged. I mean, I'll I'll scroll and see a few things, but I'm not like all up in the algorithm. I'm not like in the matrix in that way. I've
So-
kind of like weaseled myself out of it, and I'm just looking around at everything going on in there. Like, man, this is
Do you feel like there's a cost to your peace by
Oh, yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
inside of it?
yeah.
Maybe I need to
Well,
stop doing that shit.
You know
because I
what?
feel that's
It's
where I
a
am right now.
I think it's a perceived cost. I don't know how true it is. I don't know how true. It's a real cost, but I don't know how true it is.
Yeah.
I make the delineation between truth and reality. Like I say it all the time. Reality is like, okay, right now it's 79 degrees. Now it's 80 degrees, right? Like facts move around, right?
Yeah.
Reality is dynamic, right? It always changes. The reality of today is no longer the reality of tomorrow.
Yeah.
The reality of 100 years ago, it was real then. Pluto was a planet, then it's a star, then reality shifts, right? But truth is fixed. And
Well, they'll tell you right now, truth ain't fixed. Truth is basically based on your point of view.
that's what they say, but
Isn't that crazy though?
it is
Isn't that
crazy.
Is that
Truth is truth, man. You can't move it. You can't do nothing about it. It was, it is, and it always will be. That's just what it is.
I was watching an interview between Anne, oh my goodness, Anne something. I forgot her name.
Hathaway?
No. She used to be married to Bill Maher. Her name is Anne something. She was
I
like
don't know them folk.
hilarious. but Bill Maher and her were having a conversation, and she was talking about a topic, Ukraine, and how it was tied to Russia. And the guy across from her was like, "I'm Russian. I know what I'm talking about. What you're saying is false." She said, "I don't believe you." And he's like, "Why don't you believe me?" Say, "I just don't.
I just don't.
So I'm
I just
telling
don't.
you, as someone that's Russian from this part of the region, that what you're telling me is factually inaccurate." And she said, "I don't believe you." So it's like, I'm trying to really understand how truth all of a sudden got spliced.
Yeah, it got watered down. It got in question. It was investigated. It was put on trial. It was
that woman. I forget her name, George Conway's wife, something Conway,
Mhm.
when she was like, "Oh, we have alternate truths," and I'm like, "What's an alternate truth? Isn't it just the truth?"
Truth is truth, whether accepted or denied. It is what it. There's nothing you can do about truth. You know what I'm saying? Like
get
it just either you and the thing is like the beauty of it is like when you accept truth or surrender to truth, you experience it. If you deny it and reject it, then you don't.
Well, unless you just simply stay in the denial the entire time, then that becomes your reality.
That
right?
becomes your reality. That's what I'm saying. Like, and then that's what you experience as a result. So like, if you're like, man, ain't no love is whack, or ain't no this out there, and ain't nothing men and this and women are this. If that's your reality, if that's what you're spewing, and that's what you're going to experience. If that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. That becomes your reality. Not that the truth is over here doing its thing, but you believe based off of your circumstances, based off of your life's path, based off of what you've seen and heard, and that's now what you believe to be true. So I make that delineation, and I sit back, man, and I see so many truths every day. I watch the sun come up. I watch it go down. I'm sitting there looking outside the window like, man, that's a miracle. I was outside on the balcony looking like, is anybody else seeing this miracle come up and down every day? Meanwhile, if you were to spend that time scrolling online, you're going to see a whole bunch of realities and like start to buy into these realities as if they're truth. But I'm looking out the window with a bird flying. I'm like, how is that bird flying? Is anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, is anybody witnessing the miracle, the simple miracle of a bird flying or wind blowing that you can't see? How do you know it's there? You can't see it. You can't taste it, touch it, smell it. Sometimes you can hear it, but it's there. What color is wind? What, you know what I'm saying? These are things that are true. They're universal truths that there's nothing you can do about wind.
I mean, but it kind of goes back to how you look at the cost of success. Like you refuse to give up those things in order to be able to stay within a truth.
Yes.
Right. So you're not giving I'm not giving my energy.
Yes.
I'm not giving my time. I'm not even giving my space
Yeah.
to that because I refuse to pay that cost to be able to, either elevate into some other space. I like this moment. I like where I am. I'm not unwilling to give it. And I think that a lot of people, unfortunately, are willy-nilly
Of course they are.
giving and sacrificing so much to be able to do whatever X is. If it's grow their social media accounts, if it's like become an influencer, they're like, you know what? I'm going to lean in to this thing that I know is not true. This thing that I know is absolutely abhorrent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lean into this clickbait, rage bait, whatever. I'm willing to pay this sacrifice to be able to hop over and move quicker to pay for my success. And the one thing that we don't talk about much is that, you know, what would you rather? Would you rather be successful at home in your big mansion with some little hot, some people might say, yes, hell yeah. Some little hot 25-year-old and you're 50 in this incredible mansion where
joints don't work.
Huh?
Your joints ain't working
joints
anymore.
ain't working, nothing's working for you. But you know, you're the person that loved you for who you were when you had a nickel. The kids that revered you because of your commitment and dedication to being there and being present. But you're like, I'm going to give all of it up to be in this space to now I have more M's in the bank. And it's almost like an artificial love, artificial things versus being like, I'm going to be choiceful about what I'm going to pay to reach that goal. And I think it's a really slippery slope. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, pay the ultimate sacrifice, which is of their integrity. They pay of their integrity, they pay of their soul, they pay of all these things to reach that sacrificial moment.
Yeah. And then what happens when you get there and you realize what you paid and then you hate everything you went after because it doesn't feel as good as you did. There's no way that it's going to feel as good as you thought because you paid way too much.
Yeah.
You gave up your soul, you gave up your integrity, you gave up all of the things for this goal that is fleeting, and you reach the goal and then it feels like, bro, like I remember being in high school and I just wanted to get a 3.5. I was graduating. My mom was on me about my grades. And I was like, man, I know I'm going to get accepted to a university, but I just want to just like give it my all and see what happens. I got a 3. I worked hard and got a 3.5, and I was pissed when I got a 3.5 because it felt like I should have got a 4.0.
Yeah.
I did all that work and I got a 3.5. I was unsatisfied. I was dissatisfied. And I was like, at that point, I learned early on, like, you know what, man, like chasing these goals and thinking there's going to be some sort of like, you know, treasure at the end of the rainbow or something, the ultimate desire is in this goal. It's false. When people say, man, if I just had X amount of money, then I would be, I'm like, nah, you're not seeking money. You're seeking something else.
Yeah.
Maybe you're seeking like, you know, love, or there's something else that you're saying is money, you're saying is the thing, but that's not what you're seeking. And typically what we seek is already available, but there's all this stuff in the way that makes us think that we have to reach and grab these things that aren't actually going to satisfy that insatiable desire. Because once you reach that goal, man, you want the next goal. It doesn't stop.
Dude, it's like, I go back to this meme. I don't know. Maybe I stay on social media way too much, but my wife would tell you I absolutely stay on social media way too much. But I feel like I have to keep up, one, with my kids, but also just keep up in general what's going on around me.
Yeah.
And so there's this meme that showed up. Actually, it's a video that was like, if I paid you $100 million, but you got to send your mom to jail for a year.
I bet everybody would.
The comments were real. The comments were like, "Mom, I love you, but it's okay. You'll be okay. It's minimum security. We'll put you in where Martha Stewart was.
I refuse.
It's fine, right? You won't put your mom in jail. It's okay. It's all good." There were others like, "Yo, would you punch your wife or punch your girlfriend in the nose for $1 million?" Yo, people are like, "Baby, I'll fix it. It's fine." Yo,
I'm sure some of them was like, "Yo, let's set it up. Just don't hit me too hard." Like,
and I can guarantee you that in the comments, I cannot verify this, but I cannot imagine one that someone was not able to say, "I'll let my husband hit me for $1 million. Yeah, it's just a broke nose. It'll be okay."
Yeah, man.
Imagine this, imagine that, imagine in the rainbow. And that's why I think that we're messed up as a country because we're willing to give up so much for some perceived goal. That when we get it, we're not going to be satisfied with it because we gave up so much to get there.
You're going to resent it.
Yeah, we used to do some work for, you and I, we did work on Kyrie's answers. We launched Kyrie's logo.
Incredible. Thank you
incredible
for that,
platform.
man. Got me some Telly Awards. That was a nice. That was good.
That was a
man.
great project.
Thank you for that.
Shout out Shatalia
Yes.
for hooking us up with the account. It was incredible. Did work on Anta with Kyrie. Shout out to Kyrie.
Shout out Kyrie Irving.
But there's one thing that stuck to me that I was like, yo, man, he's got to figure it out. It's like, yo, the journey's the reward.
The journey is the reward.
Right? It's like, it's not the end result. It's the journey. It's like going through it. That's the reward of it all. So if you're able to stay in the moment of the journey and appreciating the journey and appreciating what you're going through, then the result will be that much sweeter.
I'm telling you, man, you know it. Like everybody that you admire, you listen to LeBron, you listen to any of them, and they all talk about how much they love going to the gym, man. They got the rings. Mm-hmm. Do they wear them? If they just be sitting in some sort of it's obviously a stat on their their legacy, but the journey is it, man. Like the jewels are in the journey, right? Like that's where you learn who you are. That's where you determine like, oh man, I actually have a greater capacity than I ever imagined. That's where you learn like, like what you're capable of. And that's where you leave behind that old version of yourself, right? And I think part of the quiet truth is that we are all chasing the future versions of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And truly, we are already that person that we're seeking. But we just have to move and adjust like all of the mess, all of the trauma, all the experiences, all of the fear, you just have to move all that. You have to move all that out of the way, and you'll clearly see a picture like I actually am who I desire to be. And once you get to that point, you're willing to disconnect. You're willing to jump off the rat race, out the rat race. You're willing to exit the matrix. You're willing to just be and kind of like sit with self and spend time with self outside of all of the things and fall deeper in love with that truth.
Yeah.
That you actually already are that. And then you can show up in any room. You can show up at any meeting. You can just show up as is and things will begin to kind of like come to you, right? As you stop seeking them and stop chasing them, because it's like, yo, I have the reality. That's what confidence is. I have the reality that I actually am who I think I am. I am who I desire to be, right? And I think that disconnecting and spending time away from me has allowed me to reconnect with that truth. Because I have seasons where I believe that. I have seasons where I doubt that. And the seasons where I doubt it, it's when I'm on the digital, it's like when I'm all up in the mix and then I get this false sense of reality that is inflated because of the applause or because of the response or because, right? But when I've been tapping out of that like intentionally, just backing up and tapping out so that I could just kind of spend time with self. And you mentioned like, sometimes I feel like when I'm not a part of the matrix, I'm missing out. I don't know what the culture's talking about. I don't know what the swag is. I don't know. But I actually find that when I'm tending to myself, that's when I discover what the swag is.
I feel like swag is timeless though, right? I feel like, either you have taste or you don't have taste, right? And so to be able to grab taste from the ether of social media, does not necessarily mean that you have taste now. It just means that you recognize someone else's taste and you're just using it for your own. You know what I mean? It's like designers. I mean, obviously there's inspiration even with design. And sometimes, I hate to say, a lot of designers will take others and try to, mimic it, redo it, rework it.
Reinterpret. I mean, nothing's new under the sun, right? We're all pulling from something that we've seen or been inspired by or like. We're all pulling from something, interpolating.
No, I think you're right. But at the same time, it's like that the ability to have original thought.
Oh yeah,
is interesting, and that keeps you in that bucket of fresh, tasteful, all those things, but it's original thought.
Tapping into that original thought.
All of that, right? And I feel like we pay so much in ourselves to get to an end goal that we miss out on the original thought, right? It's like, listen, I think all of us are guilty of it. AI, for example, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I use it, but I'm scared of it. and it's a shame because I feel like
kind of like a drug. I use it, but I'm scared of it.
No doubt. But hear me out though, because it's interesting. It's like I've always been the guy, and my team hates this. I write my own decks.
Mm-hmm.
I write my own storylines. I direct my own stuff. I do all my things because that helps to keep me sharp.
Exactly.
Right? The minute that I step away from it, I feel like, it's not because I want the control over it, while I do like control. It's really because I feel like it helps to keep me sharper in what I do.
For sure.
And AI is giving me a shortcut, and I don't know if I'm now developing original thoughts anymore.
Yeah, man.
I'm putting things in and it's spitting it out. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah, that works.
Yep.
It's like, and no matter how much I'm prompting it and I'm putting in my own prompts and putting in my own things to allow it to give me as close to original thought as possible, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary to me.
Me too.
Because now I'm thinking, am I losing my sharpness and my patience to be able to go through the journey to get there?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we're all heading now.
Yeah.
We're all heading into like, because AI is gonna make it faster and this and that. Yes, faster is there. But sometimes if the journey is the reward, the process to get through that deal gets you to something that's richer that you can't find anywhere else, right? If you're just replicating some other shit, that's not necessarily going to make you better.
Yeah.
That original pathway is what you really need, and that scares me.
Yeah, and the novelty is in that originality. I think we're gonna have like a, we're just gonna get tired of, because I can look at AI visually and kind of tell. I can read it. Because it always gives it's not this, it's that. It's like there's little phrases and rhythms where I'm like, that's AI, that's AI, that's AI. It feels synthetic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it feels synthetic. You know, like no, I'm not even gonna say that. I'll say when I was single, I used to rub my hands in a woman's hair, and sometimes you feel that synthetic. You're like, oh man, but right. No, I don't want any smoke.
Hey, I'm not the one that's gonna give it to you.
Quiet truth. No, but seriously, the synthetic nature, which I think is what this world is kind of getting sick of, that's gonna be amplified with AI, and of course, it's gonna do some amazing things. There's gonna be some amazing breakthroughs in medicine. It's gonna help with policy. It's gonna help with a lot of like almost like a partner, right? Like in thought, but I come from a background of writing, so I started to get uncomfortable when I was sending out emails, responses like boom, send it, AI. And I'm now taking the time, like I'm in a season of discipline and focus. And I'm in that season because I know those are the tools that I need to resharpen for this next juncture of the journey. This era that is approaching requires discipline and focus. Everything that the culture, not necessarily everything that culture is, but the distractions of social and society and culture aren't aligned with discipline and focus. So I'm gonna start looking like an alien soon. You know what I mean?
Well,
start looking like an alien, but at the same time, I know that I need to be disciplined and focused. So I've been journaling, doing stuff like that. I'm not like a journaler. I was on the beach journaling, just getting my thoughts out, going through the exercise of, freeing my mind in that way, pen to paper, so that I can stay sharp, so that I can keep relying on my brain and not relying on this machine.
Well, I mean, what's funny is that the machine is real. Like, I follow a bunch of folks, and I speak to a lot of people on an ongoing basis, and whenever I get an email from them, I look at it, I'm like, you didn't write that.
Man, you know it, bro. You're like, man, I know you.
I know you.
Talking about cantankerous. You don't know what cantankerous means? You definitely AI'd that.
Yo, you didn't write that. Like I know how you talk, dog. I know how you talk, and that's not how you talk. Why are you over here like fronting like that, man? What are you doing?
And it feels almost like I'm offended. You can't just imagine we're not even having this conversation, right? We're just letting the machine talk back and forth, and we're just sitting here, and it's like just talking for us. Like that's what it's gonna be, and it's gonna continue to because you look at Gen Z and how they're let me say, let's look at the COVID generation, right? 2020 babies and all that, and how that social distance, like what is that going to create in those kids as they grow? And you already have a generation, Gen Zers, who kind of suffer from social anxiety, more so than other generations, and it's just going to further make things all awkward, and in person is going to be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think again, the novelty is the pendulum swings, even as things is technological advances, the
Yeah.
pendulum swings, there's cycles, what goes around comes around. We will reach a point. I think we're dang near at this tipping point, but we will reach a point where, man, we desire novelty. You're gonna
Yeah.
see people, you know what I'm saying, like
Bro, listen.
buying their data back.
I
They're gonna
was-
go off the grid. They're gonna you ain't gonna see them online. You're gonna see them at the little speakeasies and the little
No
rooms
doubt.
and the meetups and
No doubt.
you know what I mean? Like,
I was on a the one thing that I don't know about you. I call myself a bit of a clairvoyant. My job.
I'm with you, bro. You know that.
My job is to look around corners.
Yeah.
Right. And I plan. It's not always great in my personal life, but I plan for the absolute worst thing to happen, which means that my brain is already on the worst thing.
Mhm.
Like, if this is the worst thing, how can I offset the worst thing? Let me start doing it now for that worst thing that's going to happen, right?
Mhm.
And so I feel a little bit clairvoyant on a lot of things, and a lot of things that I've had thought about have come to pass. So I've been good about that.
What are you looking at now?
So we're talking about AI and specifically around content. And so we're working on some unscripted reality shows, things like that. And the reason why we went into unscripted reality is because of the advent of AI.
Mm-hmm.
But I was on the phone today with the president of a really large agency, the multi-billion-dollar company, whole nine yards. I had a beautiful 45-minute conversation. And I told him, I said, what's happening right now is that AI and content creation in AI is a novelty.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be a novelty because we're looking at it and we're like, whoa, look at what's happening. We could not imagine this. This is incredible. Yet we're impressed by the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we love it, but we're impressed by it because it's funny. We can make funny memes. We can make funny this. We can make funny that. We can use it to be able to get a message across or whatever. But what's going to happen is, like everything else, and you're going to remember this a little bit, like everything else, the pendulum's going to swing to real.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to want to have real people in the real thing doing the real thing, right?
Yes.
Because remember early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s, whatever it was, the biggest blowback from AT&T, and the reason why people left AT&T, because I could not talk to a real person. It was hit 1 for this, hit 3 for that, put in your phone number for this,
I'll be slamming the phone down.
all that. And so their customer service responses and their surveys were like, we hate AT&T because we can never talk to anybody that's real. And so they scrapped it, put real people in, real callers, real thing. It could have been someone from Bangladesh, doesn't matter, but they had real people calling, picking up the phone. Now it's a language thing, whatever, but you still had a real person.
Yeah.
And so that's data point 1 is that people will swing back on the pendulum. Data point 2 is that people are now on social building real things.
Mm-hmm.
You have craftsmanship coming back. Like even from your sunglass folks or whatever to all these people that are in your circle, they're building things that are incredible, that are handcrafted, from woodworking to homes. I'm following so many people that are like, come with me as I build my house from scratch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, that's dope. I want to know how to do that. And I'm watching it. I'm not watching the AI person build it from scratch. I'm watching this dude that knows how to build something from scratch. I'm like, that's where this is going, is that you're going to have this delineation between real and fake. And even in Instagram now, when you posted something, it says, is this AI content?
Yeah.
And so you're going to have separation between AI content and real content.
Yeah.
And you're going to find novelty being over here, and you're going to find real authentic engagement and people on this other side soon.
Cause if it ain't true, it ain't tasty, man. Like it's like it doesn't taste good. And I have such a lens for what isn't true. Like every time I scroll and I see things, I keep to myself. I don't say much, but I'm like, performative, performance.
Yeah.
Everybody out here acting.
Speak to it.
Everybody out here like, just like, man, there is such value in being yourself, right? Like just your own. I have gloves on.
I don't know if people can.
It's
be
like
themselves
still
anymore,
summertime, you know. I'm just being myself.
People can be themselves, man. I mean, that's
That's
what,
the.
I wish that was the case. People, because you are not, but people are so concerned about how they're perceived by others that they change who they are to get there. I did a Burger King spot with Lil Yachty for the VMAs.
Yachty is himself.
Yachty stays himself. Let me tell you how real this dude is. How real this dude is. We were shooting a spot 2020. We had to shoot 3 commercials in one day. One was going to be VR and 2 others were going to be real practical shoots. We had Yachty showing up at the Lamborghini with the king. We had Yachty doing something in the backstage with the king. Then we had a virtual shoot as well. It's supposed to be like this amazing thing. It came off like no issues. We were doing wardrobe check. My man Yachty with his dad. Yachty came out in middle of July in Los Angeles.
We did have some
Came out with a puffy red big old jacket with a hoodie.
Yo.
And the long sleeve shirt underneath it and the jeans and all of it. And I sent a note to this man and said, yo, it's like, you know what we're shooting? We're shooting in July. It's like, yeah, we know. It's like, he doesn't want to like change it up. It's like, no, this is what he's going to wear.
Bro, I used to call my sweaters in leather in 90-degree weather. Sweaters and leather in 90-degree weather. At FAMU, that's what they used to call me. Ask anybody,
bro.
Because I'm gonna do my thing.
It's about the look. It's about being you. But not everyone's okay with being you anymore. I feel like in New York you can be for the most part.
Yeah.
But around the country, it's like, listen. When I was living in Texas, the challenge was always like everybody felt like you had to be a certain way. In Texas, right?
Yeah.
If you're in Dallas or Houston, you got to get your nails done, hair done, hair done, everything did, all that, right? Just to show up to the gas station to pump gas or go to the local grocery store. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yo, I'm coming out here with like, what I'm going to put on is what I'm putting on.
I remember the moment when it all changed. I was in Las Vegas at Fashion Show Mall, and the year was probably 2010. I was with my mom, and I saw this woman. It was probably 11 a.m., maybe 10:15. It was 10:17 a.m.
Oh, wow. That's specific.
I'm just it's all about the story. And this woman, man, she had on like a short dress, full makeup, full wig, she was like decked out like it was like a beauty pageant.
All of that.
And this was kind of the era of, Real Housewives and like really kind of glamming up.
Yeah.
And Beyonce was influencing the culture, and women were just kind of becoming more and more like playing around with makeup and different. It was dope, but I was like, yo, it's 11 a.m. It's 10:17 a.m. I got a piece of crust on the side of my eye. She was ready at 10:17 a.m. and I was just, it dawned on me like, oh, culture is shifting.
Yo, all the way.
People really want to perform. It's a performance, but there's no microphone or talent.
Yeah.
It's just just a show.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at, but it's just the idea that, man, the beauty of the world exists in everybody being themselves. What if water didn't want to be water? It wanted to be air. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if water and wind didn't surrender to God's will and do what it's supposed to do and assign and designed to do? Like, what if it just wanted to, like, be a cloud? Like, like, truly, man, there is such beauty when people are themselves, when they are who they are called to be. The quiet truth is, man, like, the most beauty lies in effortlessness. Like, you just are, you just exist. It just is. It's true, like we talked about before. When it's true, it just is.
It just is.
Ain't nothing you could do. It just, that's what it is, right? And I think that's where the beauty lies, man. And we're getting away from that. The pendulum will swing back to that. But I have a feeling there's gonna be some like ounce of fakeness on people trying to be real. Like,
bro.
It ain't gonna quite. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna quite curl. It ain't gonna quite. There's going to be something that's just off with people like trying to be real and trying to be themselves. And look, the journey is difficult. I discovered who I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same way I show up today, I showed it at people who went to middle school with me back in San Jose at Quimby, man. Like they'll tell you, man, you ain't changed. They see me online like you ain't changed. I'm like, dog, that was 30 something years ago or something like that. I haven't changed. But according to them, I haven't, because I determined I used to have to learn to brace myself to show up in spaces because I knew that people would look around like, what is this guy doing? Now that things like being creative and being yourself is all cool and all that, but at that time, it was a very standard and traditional way of being. And I was willing to pay the cost of being myself and taking on all the like people looking and all that until it became like, oh man, where'd you get those shoes? Oh man, where'd you get that? People became inquisitive and wanted to find out more and discover more. And that's just kind of been the journey since, but I was willing to take that risk. Like people typically discover themselves in college.
Mm-hmm.
They discover themselves when they leave home.
Mm-hmm.
They figure out like what the move is like after they pledge or after something. I was 13 years old, and I for the most part was like, this is who I am. I'm showing up as is everywhere I go, and it's been, it hasn't been like a straight path to that, but you know, you progress and you regress, but for the most part, man, this is what it is, and the more I tuck away, and the more I focus on what the current assignment is for this next juncture of the journey, the more and more I become comfortable with being myself, the less I become comfortable with this plastic, fake, generative, artificially intelligent culture.
But I think that I gotta applaud that. But the challenge always becomes that there are people that are willing not to give that up.
Oh yeah.
Right. That not and those are the people that I
Starburst
think
tastes good. Skittles taste good.
Yeah.
You're gonna rot your teeth and send. You know what I'm saying? But
no doubt. But I don't think people understand the true cost of giving it up. Right. Because
it costs,
we
man. It does cost.
we say that people like inherently understand. Yeah. If someone's willing to punch their girlfriend in the nose for $1 million,
Yeah.
being able to, their integrity is not far behind, right? And the things that they believe in, not far behind. Even, people talk about them being, oh man, listen, this is a woman that really came after me on one of my Instagram comments when someone was getting arrested by so that couple that got, that wouldn't be nice. I met a couple that got caught cheating with each other.
Mm-hmm. At the stadium.
Yeah, the stadium, right?
Yeah.
And
Coldplay.
And I hopped in the comments section for some big media company. I was like, we understand, we got it, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are real people.
Right.
And everyone was like, nah. It's like, we need to drag them. We need to drag them all the way. We need to go after them. I was like, and so she's like, what's wrong with you? We should be dragging them for everything they got. And this woman, when I clicked on her profile, it said, God first, Jesus lover.
Bruh.
And I came back at her, I said, I'll remember. I mean, I went to very few Bible schools, but I grew up in the Catholic church. I was like, I'll remember Jesus talking about coming and dragging folks for mistakes that they made at the end of the day. And I think that's what I'm saying. People want to front as they are a particular thing when they're not really. God first, Christian first, Jesus first on stuff, but the behavior.
And
they're not line up.
What I see that often, and pain can't help itself, man. It's gonna is it excrete? Is that the word? Excrete? It's going to come.
It's gonna be a word now.
Pain is going to come out. Whether you try to smile, whether you try to front, whether it usually comes out in like those type of things, right? Your pain is going to, your dissatisfaction with self, with the state that you're in, with the journey that you've been on, with where you are in life, is going to come out.
Yeah.
I don't care how well you dress. I don't care what the makeup looks. I don't care what it's. I see it clearly, right? You talked about being clairvoyant. I have a gift of seeing. Like, I could see. Like, I just have clarity, right, and discernment. And pain is loud. And you think about all of the commentary that we've been seeing online about like Essence Festival, all the commentary about people going to Martha's Vineyard, all the commentary about negative commentary, Invest Fest, all the commentary about like all the things that we attempt to do as a culture to like celebrate us and come together. And you just see people like collectively, it's like this trend just ishing on it. And it's just people who are truly dissatisfied in life. And I don't look at them and get upset with them. I understand. You know what I mean? I understand. And again, it's indicative of society. Society's sick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Society is sick. There are plenty symptoms, right? And again, my question is, am I going to sit back and enjoy my family and let Generation Z handle it? And let y'all handle it? Or
I don't know, man.
Am I gonna show up on purpose?
That doesn't sound about right. That doesn't sound right to me.
Am I gonna align with God's timing? Am I going to be who I'm called to be in this season? And that's where the tension lies.
Well, the tension lies in our ability to make clear decisions to stay true to who we are. as opposed to having to give up of ourselves for some other reasons, which is a really tough thing.
What do you mean
about.
when you say give up ourselves for some other reasons?
I mean, like for cloud chasing, give up the things that are true to us. Yeah. Like if all of a sudden I see you without your earrings, without the gloves, without the glasses, without this, because you happen to be like, I'm gonna go meet with somebody, but like, are you okay? You know what I mean?
I'm okay if I don't have it. Matter of fact, next podcast, I ain't gonna have any of those things. But I'm asking that question because I think, again, sometimes what people think is true is actually just real, and it's real because of their experience with it, and it's actually not true.
Yeah.
So when people surrender sometimes it's good to surrender who you are, right? Like I find myself dying of myself, preferably daily, in order to meet the future version of me.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like that's another quiet truth people don't really discuss. The funeral you got to have with yourself and your old life as you enter this new season, the things that can't come with you.
Oh, you're just dropping some gems that should be good for the next podcast. That's what you can't give away the whole thing, man. We got to keep something for ourselves.
Well, let's talk about it on Quiet Truth episode 2.
No doubt. So we're gonna wrap this one up. This was the inaugural episode. I feel like we touched on incredible topics within the space of the cost of success and the truths around it.
What are you willing to pay?
What are you willing to pay? And are you willing to pay? And should you pay at the end of the day is the question we have to ask. So you can find us on Quiet Truth Podcast on Instagram and all other places. I am Mark Ekechukwu.
Enitan Bereola II.
And this was
A Quiet Truth.
Quiet Truth.